All right. Hey,
Fernand.
so- yeah, that's it, Fernand. There you go.
Okay.
Hey, so how you guys, everybody doing? We're kicking it live here. I'm in the USA, and Aisha's in the UK. What's going on?
Hello. Okay.
All right. So go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead,
go on.
Aisha.
Go on. No, go on.
Yeah. So we decided to do this hangout together because we've been working online. We're using the internet to make an income, right? And it's really good because we're coming from different avenues of life. And how did we connect? We connected because we're friends on Facebook, and we connect
Hmm.
because we're part of a community that's helping us do this. So what we're gonna do today is that we're gonna first of all introduce ourselves, let you know who we are, right? And then we're gonna talk a little bit about fear and about how fear gets in the way of a lot of people's ability to take action, you know.
Hmm.
And even if you think that this is, oh no, this is about making money, I don't worry about money, money's not important. This is for every aspect of life. If you have to lose weight, if you want to quit a job, or if you're in a toxic relationship, or if you even have a fear of moving because you have a bad landlord or something, this is exactly what we're talking about, getting out of your comfort zone and using fear to work for you. Okay. All right, so with that little intro finished, I'm gonna give it the mic over to Aisha, and she's gonna tell us about herself and what's up. All right, what's going on, Aisha?
Okay. Well, right now it's like quarter to 11, and it's timing. I know time zones and things like that. It's a bit crazy, but yeah, I've just I don't know. It's just things are good. Things are great, and like you said, we're going to talk about fear today. And I just want to say, fear. I don't really like the word fear, to be honest. I find it a bit. It's a topic where you can sometimes get lost in. Sometimes, like, how do I explain it to you? It's a deep topic, and it's a huge topic, and it covers like many aspects and many avenues, and it can mean different things in different situations and stuff. If that makes sense.
Definitely, most definitely.
Um,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go on.
Yeah, well, but just tell me about yourself, just a little bit about yourself, so that people know who you are. You know what you're doing, how you're applying these techniques in life. I know
Okay.
you because we work online and we help small
Mm.
businesses do their online marketing. So give us a little background on yourself.
Well, yeah, like you said, we met on Facebook. We are part of a community as well, and working from home, making a living from home, and just helping everyone. And that's me, and that's clearly, we're in the same profession, and we're out to help everyone, and educate people and things like that. So yeah, that's me. I have two kids. They're both sleeping, thank God. One of them is she's a bit ill today, so I might just have to check up on her a little while. But yeah, that's me. I'm a mother, married 10 years, and two kids working from home.
How long have you been working from home?
Oh, do you know what? It seems like a really long time. In fact, it's a long time, but it's just recently when things started to, work in motion for me.
And what do you think was holding you back? What do you think was the reason that it took so long for either things to connect, or for the results to start coming in, or for you to start feeling, for you to make that shift that you feel comfortable now, that you're like, it's always a struggle, but now you know that it's very possible, right?
Yeah, yeah. The one thing that was holding me back, well, do you know what it was? It was a lack of knowledge, but knowledge in a sense of what's the word? Something, strategic. That's what I was lacking. I knew how to do something, and I knew like how to get from A to B, but it was the route in between that I couldn't, figure out. That's what it was. And it's been a good 3 4 years on and off. It's been a learning process for myself. And I didn't have no mentor, no guru, no one. It's just basically learning everything as you go along, which is, like they say, if you don't know how to fly, jump out of the plane and learn on your way down. That was me basically.
And how about I ask you another question? Are any of your friends or any of your family, are they anybody else into this?
No, they're not. No, they all think I'm crazy. To be honest, they think, you're just wasting your time. Why don't you just get a job? And I was like, no, there's no way I can get a job. I just cannot see myself working for anyone. I mean, the last time I had a job was in 2006. that was the last time I had a job. I only worked because my daughter, I had a daughter back then, and my husband, he wasn't here, so I had to work. I had to provide for myself and for her as well. But I hated it. I didn't understand how people could work a job. Not that I've got anything against it, but when you have dreams and aspirations and you really want to do something, and you're out there for you're here for something else. That's what I was thinking, and that's what was going through my mind. And I thought, there's no way I could do this checkout thing every single day in, day out. Oh, it used to drive me mad. Yeah.
But it sounds like you're getting some success. Sounds like you're feeling more comfortable, and sounds like you're not letting fear get in your way. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is great stuff. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm expressively on purpose doing this from my bed right now on a Saturday, because
Okay.
Saturday for the last, I'm 42 years old. Saturday for the last, what is it, 30 38 years, every Saturday I've had to work, because I come from a family that does eyeglasses, that has optical businesses, right?
Yeah.
And think about it, everybody is working during the week. It's on the weekend, that one day, that they go to get a pair of eyeglasses. All right, so I don't know what possessed me to say that, oh, I could become an eye doctor and I don't have to work on Saturdays. No way, I
Yeah.
have to work more. So yes, I went through that path. I was the employee. I wanted to do business, and then I realized that I got $250,000 in debt to become a eye doctor. To
Yeah.
set up a business was $500,000 more debt. That means that every glasses that I would pay would be, this little bit would go to the student debt. This would go to the a business loan. What about my employees? What about me? Right? I didn't want to play
Mhm.
that game, and I realized, just like people that, let's say, don't have the careers like that, think,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta go get that career, then I'll get paid. That same type of mindset, I thought, maybe there's another way to leverage knowledge, right? To leverage experience.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I went online and I found it. Now, in my way, it was different. I was selling, it was a pills for dry eye. It was a vitamin E fish oil type of little combination, done by
Yeah.
eye doctors. And every time I do an eye exam, I'll tell you, a lot of people, since they have a poor diet, they suffer from dry eyes. And I would sell
Okay.
this, and when I was working at an optical, and this coworker that that just sells glasses, right? She saw me selling these little bottles of the vitamins, and she came in and she told me, "You can't do that. You can't sell that." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, we had a manager selling purses outside of the trunk of a car. Now you're going to
God.
sell pushing vitamins. Who do you think you are?" I was like, "Wow." Make a long story short, she got me fired because of that. All right.
Oh
Now,
my goodness.
I didn't know about the
I actually
corporate
wanted to
culture.
swear.
I know, it's the total truth. I didn't know anything about the corporate culture, right? That was my
Mhm.
first exposure to it. But I did
Okay.
know this. I knew I was an expert in the field, and I knew I had a product that I felt very comfortable, because I was an expert in the field and I was representing, right? And I knew
Mhm.
that this product was selling. So I said, let me go online. Let me try to sell this product. I have a cousin in Florida. At that time, he had been doing internet marketing for about 8 years. And so he
Mhm.
was heavily into this. He was always trying to get me into stuff. And I'm like, no, 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 because I had already messed up earlier and I wanted nothing to do with that. Right. But I got in
Yeah.
touch with him. We started going crazy. And that's been 4 years. And I've been able to quit my job and now do this full time. And
That's
it's
cool.
it's awesome. Is it hard?
Yeah.
Of course it's hard. Yes. And what we're going to talk about today is why it's hard for a lot of people to start taking action, to start doing
I'm
things,
going.
you know?
What's wrong? Okay.
All right.
Right.
So for right now, um, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go over. I have a 6-step little system on how to just
Okay.
manage your fears, on how to dominate your fears. And if any way along the way, Aisha, you want to tell me something about it, go ahead, let me know. So basically, for anything in life, for anything you want to do, the number one thing you got to do, step number one, you got to have a clear vision. You have to know what you want to do. You have to be clear. I have a saying that goes like this: a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one vision. All right. Some people say it begins with a step. But in my
Mhm.
case, I began with a step and I wasn't clear on the vision. And I became an eye doctor. And then I realized, oh man, I didn't, I was, and I knew it. There was always a voice inside, but I was
Yeah.
giving into fears. I was giving into the fear of keeping the image that everybody around me wanted to, and I wanted to keep that going. So you have to have a vision. Number two, find somebody who's doing already what you want to do. right? Find an expert in the field, okay? Number three, learn from them and take action, right? Go for it. Learn from them, mix it up in your way, and go ahead and take action. And then number four, once you take that action, you got to look at your results, right? You got to look at your
Yeah.
results, because if you don't look at your results, you can take all the action you want. Like I mean, so many times I've joined a business and I went to do stuff and I'm doing busy work and I'm not making any money, but I'm still doing the busy work, right? So someone points out and says, "You're not making money, stop," right? So you got to
Yeah.
look at the results, and then you got to go back again and jump into it and do it all over again, okay? Each step along the way, fear creeps in. Okay, fear. It reminds me like when I was in medical school. Fear is like one of those bacteria that could do anything, right?
Yeah.
When you least expect it, it's holding you back, right? And that's what we wanted to talk about. I mean, even the word fear itself, I love it. Someone once said it. Fear equals false evidence appearing real. I mean, have you ever heard that?
I've not, no, no.
So really, that's what it is. It's all in your head, right?
It
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, think about it. I mean, now I've seen in your business, you're getting a lot of good momentum. You're talking to a lot of people. I see that's a lot of good stuff happening, Aisha. Tell me, have you noticed that this is getting in the way with it? Because yes, you're getting momentum, you're getting people, but then there's also, how do you get them over that? One guy calls it so awesome, that river of doubt. You know what I mean? How do you get them over that river of doubt? What do you think is holding people back?
Do you, do you know what? Everyone's a case study of themselves, and only they know what's holding them back. It's okay for us to assume, it could be this or it could be that. But deep down, if they are self-doubting themselves in any sense, even a 1%, that will hold them back. That's going to stop them from thinking, yes, I can do it, or, why not? And, instead of feeling motivated, that one self-doubt in their abilities is what's holding them back. That's what I think anyway.
Most definitely. And you know what? That is so true. In this 4-year journey, I've done the most beautiful switch, right? I went from being just somebody who just has products and says, "Hey, you need this right here. You have a problem. Here's the answer," right? And
Mm,
everyone's like, even if they need the answer, they're like, "I don't need it."
yeah,
No, right? And
yeah.
I just didn't understand what I was doing wrong. So I had to
Hmm.
learn that I was communicating wrong, and I had to learn too that I was trying to give them the answer when I gotta have them tell me, and it's on the questions, right? So when I talk to somebody, and right, and even now it's so interesting. Now I'll talk to people and I tell them, "Hey, I help small businesses market their business using
Wait,
either
wait.
email marketing or social media," right?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people come up to me and tell me, "I want you to send me a website that tells me like a menu, everything you do, da 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 da." And I'm sitting here and I'm
Hmm.
like, that's not how it works, because
Yeah,
everybody is where they are in their business.
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
hmm So in each of the steps that I was telling you, find, coming up with a clear vision, see, having a clear idea of what you want to do. A lot of people, they're held back by their fears because of that, right? A lot of people, you say, "What do you want to do with life?" And they're like, "I don't know. I don't know. I've been at this job all my life. I've been doing this all my life," right? And
yeah,
sometimes I
yeah.
tell them, just ask your friends, ask the people that you spend the most time with, what are you good at, right?
Do you,
Go ahead.
um, this might sound a bit weird or strange, but I'm one of those where I'm so intrigued in other people, and a few a few have actually said to me, like, you have the attributes of a life coach. Why are you not, doing this as a job? And it's just recently where, it's something that I've started thinking into a bit more. But what I was going to say was, I enjoy asking people why, and like just getting to know them basically. Like I like to delve deep, and once you go deep into them, you start to position yourself in their situation, and then you can understand, okay, like I understand where this person is coming from, because if I was in their place, I too would feel the same way, exactly as them. So if they do have some sort of fear, you can relate to it. You just understand it so much more. You think, yeah, you're right, given your situation and given what's happened to you in your past, this, that, the other, I understand why you're not able to move forward. I understand why you're not able to close a chapter that's in the past. and be able to move on. That's something. I just think I just love it. I just love it.
It is fun. I mean, it is,
Yeah.
and it's life transforming because sometimes, especially in when you get a job that you have to do a specific function. I mean,
Mhm.
yes, even though the end product may be a service or an actual product, your actual contribution to that, even though it was pivotal for the result of that, there is kind of
Mhm.
no legacy being built, right? And some people wouldn't understand when they would tell me, but you're an eye doctor, you're helping people see better, you're doing good with your life, right? But at the same time, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, but I'm not helping them change, right? A lot of
Yeah.
them would sit down because I love to talk, right? And I'd
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
down, and in two or three questions, and especially if they come in all flustered and frustrated because we're trying to see 10 patients in a room in an hour that we only should see four, or
Yeah.
it's always the system that got them upset. Or my favorite, since everybody here is on the insurance, they
Yeah.
expect insurance to pay for everything. So they come in, they're
Okay.
thinking, now they're charging me extra for this, and they're complaining to me like if I'm the one who set up the pay structure, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, so I have to disarm them because if not, I'm not gonna have a good moment, nor they are. So then I go to the root of the cause, and it always comes down to that they're frustrated, they have no time, they have no money, right? And
Okay.
and so yeah, you sit here and you realize, no, I want to be able to talk to people on that level, but I want to be able to help them, right? And I want to
Okay.
be
Yeah.
able to, just like you said, I want to be able to give them solutions that really, I don't want to hear. So a friend of mine said it the other day on Facebook, right? Which is funny because he's teetering on the edge of like, I don't want to even see his posts anymore. He was saying that
Yeah.
he had to get an MRI done, and he was asking somebody, hey, where can I get a cheap MRI done? Because thanks to you know who, I have to pay
Yeah.
out of pocket, right?
Ah. Okay.
And I'm sitting here and I'm going like, so you're blaming the president for your lack of coming up with a solution for your situation, right?
Yeah.
And why? Because you're scared that if you try to do something different, everyone's gonna laugh you out of the city or out of the house, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point right there. So
But
go ahead.
this person you're talking about, he's got fear. He has fear. He
Of
doubts his
course.
abilities. He knows maybe deep down, if he put his mind to it, he could do something. He could get himself out of the situation. But he would rather pass the blame on someone else, which is what everyone tends to do, rather than point the finger back at himself.
Exactly. One of my favorite trainers, his name is Dan Kennedy. He has the best saying, one of the best saying, and he's saying that every time you put any responsibility and accountability in your life on somebody else, so basically you're blaming
Hmm.
somebody else for your condition, you're giving them control. You're losing control of your
Yeah.
life. So
Hmm.
anybody, no matter what situation you're in, the first step to get control of your life is to say, I'm the reason why this is happening. I'm going to take full
Yeah.
accountability. I'm going to take full responsibility. How do we fix this? That's how you
Yeah.
start getting grips, right? So yeah, fear is tricky. It is really tricky, and sometimes the more you get closer to your, sometimes a lot of people think that, oh, those people that are already having a lot of success, that have big teams, that have made lots of money, they don't have the type of fears that we have. But I'm gonna tell you something. Fear is just like pain. And when like some you try to offer some of the opportunities that you have with somebody, and they just are really
Yeah.
rude about it, and they say no, and you feel like, I've been doing this for a while, but that still hurt. You still feel
Yeah.
like, wow, that was right?
That was awful.
Yeah, and it does. And you know what? It's not a fabric of your imagination. Fear
Yeah.
from a neuroscientist perspective, the part of your brain that produces that fear pain that you feel is the same part of your brain that produces pain when you pinch yourself. So
Okay.
does cause a physical manifestation in the brain of pain, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so that's what people they do not want to avoid. And in fact, I imagine people that don't work on mindset, that don't work on personal development, when they experience that type of rejection of pain, they must be scared because they're thinking that's the type of pain that I get with physical. This wasn't physical. I'm gonna
Yeah.
run from whatever caused that,
Yeah.
right? But in reality, it's just the brain, right? And that's why I really believe I got a philosophy that I'm talking about that's called designing your fears, right? Entrepreneurs, what we do is we design our fears, right? We
Hmm.
don't leave our fears in the hand of the government, of the boss, right? Or even at a most fundamental level, Because a lot of people have this needy, I need to find value in other people type of
Yeah.
situation, right?
Yeah.
So they'll send messages and they'll be like, "Oh, it's obvious that you don't value me," right? Oh my God, think about that. It's obviously, and that's another thing too. People are scared to stand up and define their own values, so they give it in the hands of other people's values, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But and so it's not easy. You need a plan. We got a plan. We work a system, right? And even with that system, we still need to talk to each other. We still need to plug in, right? I mean,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
every step of the way, there's new fears coming in. Every step of the way, there's new obstacles, and you just always have to keep the machine fresh, right?
You do. Keep the cogs oiled. That's it.
hmm So that's going good
Um,
right there. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. What I was going to say is, like you said, fear can come in every aspect of your life. For me, I had a fear for driving, literally speaking. I used to think once I start driving, all the cars are going to run away from me because I'll either be scratching into them and this and that. That used to be my fear in the back of my head. And, the only way I had to overcome it was to start taking lessons. And then slowly, slowly, my confidence got, built up. And now it's come to a point where I actually need to start, like, I need to pass my driving test. That's my last little hurdle I've got to get over. But but you can't allow fear to stop you for the rest of your life. You can't let fear control you. Again, it's just one niggling little thing in the back of your mind, and you have the ability to do something. And for example, even if you say you work in an office and you have to have a presentation, and you can do a better presentation than someone else, but you sit back and allow the other person to do it. And it's like, why, when you can do a better job, why will you not just put yourself out there, show other people, and build your confidence in, yeah, I can do this presentation better than you. And it's possible for anyone else to do the same as well. Why do you have to just let things be the way they are? Why not just take a chance and see what happens?
Exactly. Exactly. If you never ask the question, if you never take the answer, take the action, the answer, there will never be change. The answer will always be no. All
Yeah.
right. You do have to have a plan. You do have to have a step. If you think about it, even an airplane pilot, every time they get on the airplane, they have a little chart with all the gauges and they have to check it off.
Mhm.
I guarantee you, if you were to get that airplane pilot and you were to sit him in a bar, right, or have a meal with them, and you were to give them a piece of paper, they could write out every little gauge and even gauges that are missing on that list, right?
Yeah.
But what if they don't have that checklist that they can show as proof that I did it? And what if they were just standing there and they're going on their own mind and they're thinking, I want a ham sandwich. Hey, I may be hungry, right? And they forget to
Yeah.
check something. So you have to have that list. And that's like the 5 steps that I'm telling you. These 5 steps, they're for everybody, for anybody. I mean, and it's funny because when you're a little kid, you don't need no formula. You don't need no
Mhm.
5 steps. Look at how a little kid learns to walk. The little kid doesn't say, okay, I have to have a clear vision. I want to walk. Okay, let me study somebody who's been walking and ask them questions. No, right? They don't sit there and
Mhm.
say, okay, let me come up with a strategy now on how to walk, right? They don't have to sit there and say, let's take action. And then now we're going to go and get feedback on that action. And, they don't do that,
Yeah.
right? We're the one who complicates ourselves. And so it's basically when you're doing personal development, is what you're doing is you're unlearning all these bad habits that they've been given us, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
all
I
along
actually
the
blame our
way,
parents. uh,
that's all right because my
oh
parents
God.
raised me too. You know what I mean? So it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I don't blame them.
You know?
You can only do the best you can to the knowledge that you have. That's it. If you don't have the knowledge, and then you can't teach anyone else.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I don't let fear come in my way. No, I mean, I had another fear of making videos. That's no longer
Me.
a fear. I just did the first one, took like 50 takes.
Yes.
Did the first one. Second one was about 20 takes. Third one is about came down to like 6, 7, and now it's like I can do them in one go. I don't really need to keep deleting and reshooting and this, that, the other. That's all it takes. You've just got to do it.
You got to believe. You
You've
definitely
got
got
to
to believe
believe.
in yourself.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
got to also surround yourself with the right community, with the right group of friends. I do
Mhm.
got to say, Facebook is priceless. I
It
was just
is.
thinking right now. I mean, it's priceless. I was just thinking right now because somebody was telling me the other day, man, you talk about all these friends. I've never seen you with them, and I'm thinking, last time I was
They're
standing
on
with you,
Facebook.
yeah, I
Mm.
was like, last time I was standing and hanging out with you was like 10 years ago. How do you know? But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, the majority of my wealthy friends, the majority of my friends that are that are my circle, right? They're on Facebook,
Mhm.
right? I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't even have them physically. Like sometimes I'll be driving, and I'm like, okay, I want to call somebody, and
Yeah.
I have to call some of my Facebook friends because the people that I know, they're at their work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, it's crazy, isn't it? Oh yeah. Do you want to like just recap the 5 steps to
Yeah, so
overcoming the fear?
let's do it. Let's do it. The 5 steps, you always got to remember them. They're very easy. And like we said, it's for anything you want to do in life, right? So,
Mhm.
and even if one of your friends that are trying to get something in life done and they're stuck, I guarantee that if you were to analyze one of their steps, they got scared or they got into an obstacle and they just let the fear take over and then it got paused. Okay, so we're gonna go through the 5 steps. Step number one, you gotta be crystal clear on what do you want to do, right?
Mhm.
You gotta be crystal clear on what you want to go. You can't just say I want to make money. No, you gotta say I want to make $10,000 in one week, and
Yeah.
then we break it down. Number two, you gotta find the people that are already doing what you want to do, right? So you're not going to ask your friend who's just in the same situation as you or worse. That's not going to work. You got to find, where do you find them? Go to social media, go to Facebook, talk to me, talk to Aisha, right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, after you find the people, now you got to understand from them. You got to learn from them. What are they doing? Maybe they have a training, maybe they have a product, maybe they have something, but find out what exactly it is they're doing. Put in your 2 cents, make it with your mix, okay? And come up with a little strategy on what to do, all right? Number four, now take action. Now that you have a plan, now that you have a strategy, go for it. Do what you got to do. Whatever it is they tell you to do it. Okay? Don't let your fear of, oh my God, what is anybody going to say now that I do it? Or don't let your fear of, I don't know what to do. You've already been told what to do. Do it. And once you've done it, final step, let's look at our results. Let's see what happens. Don't be scared of your results. Don't be bullheaded. Is this working? Is this not working? Right? And then all you got to do is repeat the whole little process, and there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Sounds
questions,
good.
guys?
Um, what I was going to say is, um, your 5 steps, they do seem a little bit biased.
Oh, for sure, of
You know,
course.
it's it,
Yeah.
it's basically targeted in one area. But what I wanted to say is like for someone who has a fear and who's had fears, the best way for you to basically overcome them, I would suggest is you write your fears down on paper. Make it a physical thing, okay? And then you need to visualize it in your head, and then you need to think how you're going to overcome it, and then write that down as well. The power of writing and visualization, however you pronounce it, it's so powerful, and your mind is so powerful. Once you start writing it down, say for example, I'm afraid of spiders. Okay, you're afraid of spiders. What can you do to get rid of that fear of spiders? Maybe have a spider at a distance in a jar, possibly. You know,
Right.
don't touch it. Just have it in the jar, and you can see it from the corner of your eyes. Yes, there's a spider, but you're not running out of the room. You're not screaming and things like that. And then to move it one step closer, maybe you could, like go closer to a spider. It's in the jar. I'm not saying lift the jar off. Keep it in the jar, go closer to it, and just realize that there is a barrier between me and this spider, and it's this glass jar. If I take the jar off the spider is going to run, and you'll be running as well. That's what's likely to happen. But again, if you want to overcome that fear, you just lift the jar off and let the spider go, and that's it. That's in my eyes, that's a good way for someone who's scared of spiders to overcome that fear. My sisters, they see a moth, they scream out of the room and say, Aisha, Aisha, there's a moth in my room. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously? It's a moth. It's such a small little thing, but they're screaming. The same goes for spiders. They'll always come to me. I used to have this fear of spiders, but my brother, he was so intrigued with spiders. he would actually capture them in a box and then add dead flies to it.
Nice.
So what I used to do was I used to look at the box and think, oh, look at the spider, and try, you know, like flicking the box and making the spider move, and you know, over its webs and stuff like that, you know. So I actually overcame that fear of spiders. You know, if I see a spider, if I see a huge one, yeah, I might jump, but nothing that I'm going to leave the room and never come back in the room again, you know. But yeah, so if you have a fear, it's best to write it down and then think how you can overcome this fear. Doesn't mean you have to do something drastic. It could be something small. Okay, you're scared of spiders. You won't actually look at a physical spider, but you can look at a spider in a book, do some
Yeah,
research online, get some knowledge, and then slowly, slowly, once you're used to the idea of the spider, psychologically, once you're used to it, you will you won't be scared of a spider again. Does that make sense?
totally. Great tips. Awesome. You know that it's beautiful because it's more than just thinking. I love the fact that when you write, you engage more, and also writing anything down makes it physical, like you said. It's phenomenal. It gives your brain
Yeah.
a rest. When you write things down, your brain doesn't have to sit there and freak out and freak out and freak out because you like literally committed. It really
Yeah,
helps you
you've
out.
Yeah, you've channeled it onto paper, not
Hmm.
in your thoughts. So you're not going to go, oh my God, spider. This, that. You know,
Exactly.
it's on paper. You know, okay, I've written spider. That spider's not going to jump at me. I've written the
Hmm.
word spider. Nothing's happened. You know, it didn't come after me. I wrote the word. You know, you've just got
Exactly.
to train your mind, and you know, like psychologically, deep inside, you've got to, you know, like I don't know, you've got to overcome it. You know,
For
people
sure.
have fears of heights. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell them to jump out of an airplane. Oh, no, no, no. I'll probably
Right.
start them off with a ladder, climb up a ladder, and then, you know, climb
Definitely.
up a longer ladder. You know, slowly, slowly, you know, like keep climbing the ladder, you know, and then maybe, but, you know, I'm not going to be just like, oh, yeah, I'll just shove you off a plane and that's it, your fear's gone. No, that'll put them in shock. And most likely it will just, what's the word? It will basically, what's that word? They'll be in shock, but they'd never trust me again. They'll be like, I'm not coming nowhere near you. And never, they might shove me somewhere else, you know, push me down somewhere else, you know.
Right.
But that fear of theirs will always be there. In the back of the mind, it'll be traumatic. That's what it is. And once it's traumatic, that takes a lot of time to get overcome. Trauma is something worse than fear. And once you like, because it's related to you, it's related to your feelings, how you feel, rather than what you think you feel. So removing emotion from your mind, it takes deep, deep, you know, therapy type of thing. You know, that's a long process. And if you are traumatic over spiders, and then, you know, if you try the steps I said, surely over time, 6, 7 months, you'll be fine. You know, I don't mean just go find a spider and, you know, hold it in your hand. No, you know, it might backfire, but yeah. So
Great advice and
fear,
great tips, Aisha.
I don't
Beautiful.
let fear come in my way. You
Good.
know, I don't even have the word fear in my dictionary. It's
Very
nothing to me in my eyes. It's just, like I said, it's just something that everyone has. But if you're confident with yourself and if you're happy with your surroundings and happy with how you are, and then no one and nothing can stop you from
right.
being happy, you know, until you allow them to, until you give them permission to enter your life and into your thoughts, that fear isn't going to be there.
Definitely. Very good. Very true. Very true. Okay, so that wraps it up. That's our first hangout, right?
Hey, that was
You
so
guys
good.
good? Hey, that, you got to start somewhere.
Oh
We're
yeah, we
here to help
do.
you guys out. We're in, you know, we're on the mission. We're on the
Yep,
path, and our journey is to also not just succeed ourselves, but to also help others succeed. Because you know
exactly.
it's lonely at the top, you know, and there's plenty of room. All right, so don't let
I want company. I want people up there, you know, with me. I want to be
exactly,
celebrating with people, not some
exactly.
loner in a corner going, woo!
Right. I
I
mean,
don't want
everyone
that.
thinks of it as a mountain with a sharp peak. No, it's not
Oh,
a mountain.
no, it's not. It's a flat ground for me.
Exactly. It's a huge, huge
Yeah,
flat, right? Beautiful.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll do this in another week. What do you think? We got another week. Let's get some
Um,
good
I
sauce.
think, yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Let's have a weekly thing. This time is good for me on a Saturday. It's a great
Okay.
time. Hopefully we can get it done at 9:30 instead of the
What is
time
it?
we did. Now we know how to get things set up.
We'll get it now that we have it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, my people.
Okay.
We'll keep in touch then. You have a great night, and I'll see you in a week. Okay.
Okay then.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, Aisha.
Bye.